If you haven't downloaded a copy of my script, that script is a great example of how to differentiate yourself from everyone else, because no one is opening up their call like how is laid out on that script. And the script's absolutely free. I'll have my team leave a link below this video. Anyway, outlined within that sales script is both an inbound and an outbound sales script that sounds completely different. And the reason why it's effective is because it sucks you in. It sucks the consumer in. It sucks the attention in. Kind of like Apple, right? Like Apple will suck you in to where you're like, oh, this is different. And then next thing you know, you start buying into the ecosystem. You buy into the lifestyle. So the subtleties are everything as far as like, planning not only that specific transaction, but really tailor fitting it of how that specific transaction, the current transaction, turns into future transactions. And so it's a matter of, preparing your pitch in a way where the transaction is more of a stepping stone to the final transaction or the next transaction. So in other words, after we do this, your credit score, your FICO score, your income, your cash flow, your savings, your assets are going to be in a better position so that in 6 months or 12 months from now, we're going to do it again, and I'm going to help you do X, Y, and Z, right? Like I'm going to help you shorten your term so you can cut 7 years off the life of your loan. Or in 6 to 12 months, when we do it again, we're going to improve your term because you'll have a better FICO score. You'll qualify for a lower rate, lower payment. You won't have mortgage insurance. And so there's this laid out, very easy kind of upgrade, right? It's like a software update. It's very convenient. And so if we can kind of adopt that trade or adopt that method that we see being used, let's say from Apple, and I'm gonna use Apple because I think that we all understand and we know who Apple is, but you can take the same philosophy and really apply it towards, department stores. You could apply it towards, hotels, right? Like if you've ever been to a Motel 6 versus, let's say, the Four Seasons, right? Like Motel 6 versus a resort. Like you go in a Motel 6, no one greets you. The smell's horrible, right? You could just sense the quality, right? But if you go to a resort, it's completely different. Everything's clean, right? People greet you, like they go above and beyond to serve you. And so there's a difference. Even though it's technically the same thing, it's room and board, it's a matter of differentiating yourself and standing out, right? And that's why people pay premiums, because they want that better quality. They want that difference. And you could apply the same thing to department stores. If you go to, let's say, Ross, or let's say Marshall's, or whatever thrift store that you got, when you go in there, what do you experience? Everything is just unorganized, right? There's clothes on the floor, everything's in a complete different mess. But the difference is when you go into, let's say, a Nordstrom or Bloomingdale's, nothing's that way. Everything is just neat. Everything's in order. Everything's clean. The quality of the wear is even better. And so people pay premiums to have that better experience because they take pride, right? Like the person that we all love to spoil is ourselves because we deserve it. And we want the best quality. We want the finer things in life. And because consumers are kind of wired to, really like brand names. And that has another key thing too, is that even though your company may not necessarily be a recognized brand, you have to talk, walk, and act as if you are a recognized brand, as if you are the Apple of your industry, as if you are the Bloomingdale's of your industry, right? And if you can kind of deliver that niche boutique type feel, I think that being different will help you sell regardless of what your price is, regardless of what your rate is, because it is that difference that helps you set yourself apart.